All right, hey guys, it's Mr. Watkins. We're gonna do a little experiment here, and I'm gonna kind of lead you through, and then I'm gonna ask you guys to actually maybe perform your own experiment as well. Okay, so if you have your packets, we're gonna be actually taking a look at page 8 in your packets. We're gonna be writing down some predictions, some observations, and some inferences with this experiment. And so right now, what I have is I've got a jar with a little bit of water in it. Okay, and then I also have just a piece of plastic. I actually cut this off of a little folder. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to place the plastic on top of the jar, and then I'm going to flip the jar over. Okay, and what I want you to do first is I want you to make a prediction. What's going to happen when I flip this thing over? And I want you to write it in that top left prediction box. What is going to happen when I flip this jar over and I take my hand off of this little plastic piece? So you can pause it, write down your prediction, and then go ahead and start playing again. All right, and I've got this thing flipped over, and I'm holding on to that plastic piece with my hand. Okay, and you guys can see the jar. I'll move a little closer here. Okay, so we can see the jar, we can see the water, and I'm going to go ahead and take my hand off of the plastic piece, and you can see what's happening here. All right, so we've got the jar is still there, the water is there, the water is trying to get out, right, but it can't, okay, because this plastic piece is in the way. So I want you to go ahead and write down your observations in that top observation box. Write down what's happening here, and then I want you to write down some inferences. What do you think is going on here? Why do you think this is happening? And go ahead and write it in that top right box. And you can pause it while you are writing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this thing. So right now it's maybe a third or a fourth full. I'm going to go ahead and fill it to be mostly full. It's more than halfway. It's probably 2/3 full. And we're going to see if more water will make a difference. Okay, and so I want you to go ahead and you can pause it, write down your predictions. What's going to happen now when I tip this over, now that it is almost all the way full? It's about 2/3 of the way full. All right, so you can pause, write down your predictions, and got it flipped over, and there it is. The plastic is still able to maintain its spot, keeping all of the water inside of the jar. All right, so go ahead and write down your observations. You can draw a picture if you want to. I think a picture would be awesome, maybe showing the water level and what it looks like here compared to that first time. All right, so the first time was about maybe a third of the way. Now it's probably 2/3 of the way full of water. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. And then write down, again, some inferences, some conclusions. What do you think is going on here? What's happening to this? And I am going to go ahead and fill this baby all the way up with water. Okay, there is almost no air in here, so this thing is all the way full with water. I'm gonna have you make a prediction again. Now that this thing is all the way full, what is going to happen when I put my piece of plastic on here and I tip it over? All right, what's going to happen when I take my hand off? It's all the way full with water. There's a lot of water pushing down on this thing. And we'll go ahead and take it off. There it is. The amount of water, it looks like, does not matter. But why isn't this plastic piece just falling off? Think about how, I mean, this jar, this thing's pretty heavy. There's a lot of water in here. Okay, so this jar is completely full of water, and yet it's not enough to push that plastic piece down. The gravity from the water is not enough to push it down, so there must be something going on here. What do you think is happening? And go ahead and write down your thoughts. Here's what I want. I want you to try this. Okay, so I want you to give this thing a shot at your own house. Take a video and then post that video on our Flipgrid page with the topic and show me what's happening. Explain what do you think's going on.
Tuesday. Appreciate seeing all you guys.